Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to One Hub here for the final race of the Reverse Championship. My name is, of course, Michael Edwards, and joined alongside me in the commentary box is the one, the only, is Mr. Colin Mason. How's it going, Col?
Evening, Mike. Evening, all. How is everyone? We've had an absolute blinder of a real Formula One race, and now this is going to be the last final round of the Reverse Championship, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the Reverse Championship has been absolutely fantastic so far. Obviously, we had a brilliant race in Silverstone. We had a fantastic race last time out as well. And I believe tonight it is Austria as well, isn't it? So, Austria, another one of those tracks where it's going to be a very interesting one.
And in reverse as well. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be quite chaotic, I think. I haven't actually driven this track in reverse myself, Mike. I don't know whether you have. But it does look a lot of fun. I got to be honest, it does look a lot of fun. And the drivers have now readied up, and they are in the pit lane as we speak.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I believe last week it was Zandvoort as well, and that was a very interesting race, a very interesting dynamic going backwards around that track. And Austria, another one as well, as you mentioned, it's a very different circuit when you drive it backwards. It just changes the whole complexity of this track.
Yeah, it does. It's going to be... I think it's going to be very difficult for overtaking as well, I think. But there's going to be a lot of mistakes out there, I think, Mike. You know, drivers are not going to be able to look back on their experience from previous games starting year because we've never done it in reverse. So it's going to be very, very interesting. But our fellow Welshman Callum is in the lead of the championship with one round to go. Can he seal it?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Cal has been absolutely fantastic on the new game cycle, and he's absolutely shown it here in the Reverse Championship. Back-to-back wins, of course. Zandvoort and Silverstone going to make it 3 for 3, hopefully, tonight, if everything goes in Callum's way. But there's still some very big names that can cause him a few problems. J. Cole being one, Larkin being another. Obviously, you got the likes of Salah, who's shown fantastic improvements early on in this game cycle. There's definitely some names that could throw a spanner in the works for Callum.
Oh, definitely. And of course, Marco in the Mercedes, he's his nearest championship rival. We know how quick he can be. With his pace shown in P1 last season, so he's going to be challenging Callum all the way through this race.
Yeah, absolutely. As we got the cars coming out on the out laps right now, so we will we'll go on board with the man who's first out on the track, and I believe that is Callum, if I'm not mistaken. It is Callum. So we will jump on over to the race, and there we go. Game audio might be good enough. Like, someone will have to let me know what the game audio is like, because for me it is very quiet. Might have to bump it up a little bit.
But there you can see Callum warming his tyres up. It's going to be interesting to see. We're still early days in this game regarding league racing. How easy is it to warm your tyres up? Can you overdo it on the warm-up lap and take too much life out? But as you can see, Callum now around the first two corners, which was the last two. Looking very, very quick, lovely and smooth from Callum in the absolutely stunning RB. I think it's one of the best liveries F1 teams have done for quite some time, Mike.
Yeah, it's definitely a very good looking livery in the RB, and obviously in Callum on his first flying lap now, coming towards what usually is a very tight uphill right-hander, but now it's a very techy downhill left-hander, as DRS will be wide open. This call, the old turn 1, turn 10 now, is what I think is going to be the most difficult corner, because it's really throw the car in, very easy to drift wide into that wall.
It is, isn't it? You haven't got much room for error there at all, as Callum does a 104.395. I'd love to say that's a great lap, but I absolutely have no idea. But he is quite considerably quicker than Larkin and Mikey, who is on a 5.7. But I got to be honest, having watched Callum on board his lap, it makes me want to have a go, Mike. It does look a lot of fun. J. Cole now up into second place with a 5.1.
Yeah, and we got, let's go, your old man, J.R. Mason now coming through to end his first flying lap. He's on his run down into turn 10 now. And let's see what Mason could do. Mason usually very good in qualifying. And, sometimes it can be
let's have a look.
Fantastic. Oh, God. J.R. Mason with a 4.9.
I expected that.
What a lap.
Wow. Well, Dad hasn't lost any of his qualifying speed from the last game. I know that he's been hoping to improve his race pace a bit. His quali pace is insanely quick. But looking at the last couple of races of the Reverse Championship, his race pace seems to be up there, which is very, very good. We got Mikey in the other McLaren. So he's only recently joined the league. I did have a couple of races with him online in the normal public online lobbies, and he was a very, very good, very clean driver. So he was asked if he'd like to have a little go at One Hub. He made his debut last week and he did well. There was a few minor errors, but hey, that's inexperience for you. But he's got good pace as Mikey, and he's a 5.7, which is pretty impressive.
Honestly, Cole, I reckon we stop the count now. It's a Welsh front row.
Yeah, we'll leave it there, shall we?
Yeah, we'll just leave it there.
That's it.
On board with Gazaman as he comes across the line. Gazaman obviously returning as well this season, as Marco there improves, goes ahead of Callum. So we knew we should have stopped the count of that just before Marco crossed the line, but Gazaman making his return to One Hub as well, and it's a big name to come back as well in Gazaman.
It is. I'm so pleased to have him back in the league. Absolutely delighted. I know he's on the wheel again now. I think he was on controller. Gazza will have to correct me, but I think he's been on controller the last couple of weeks. But he's got his wheel set up back now, I think, and he's going to be back on the wheel. So I expect him to show some very, very good pace in his Ferrari today. But yeah, great to have him back. Absolute gentleman on and off the track. I got a lot of time for Gazza.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, there's been a lot of returning faces onto this game cycle. Obviously, J. Cole, after taking a little break, he's back racing again. Same with Larkin as well. I mean, Vitinho he came back towards the end of P2 last season. And then you got Gazman as well. A lot of the old names are starting to come back. The old guard returning. Trying to do a Fernando Alonso. Come back after leaving for a little bit, and then seeing how they stack up.
Mike, they all copied you, mate. That's what they did. But they all copied you, seeing you making your return to league racing last season, and they all went, you know what, we'll have a bit of that.
And hopefully it goes more successful than my return did. In fact, my return didn't go too bad, but it definitely could have been better.
I think you had a great return, but it's a good example of what you did to any new drivers coming in. Is don't set your expectations too high. Oh, look at that! On the medium tyres, Mike.
Yeah, I was about to say
on the medium tyres as well, a 4.7.
Now
that's a very impressive lap time.
Cole,
interesting that he decided to do a medium run, saving a set of softs for the race, Mike. Maybe
potentially. Cole, we obviously got to commentate over Salu last season, and I believe obviously you commentated over him the season before that as well. He has been a driver that has just been on the edge of getting the best results week in, week out. He's always at the pace, but it's just not been stringing together for him. But with the pace he's shown so far on this game cycle, it could be a dark horse potentially to get himself up into the top tier, perhaps.
Do you know, I wouldn't rule it out, because his performances on this game in the reverse championships and looking at his TTs have been nothing short of exceptional. And he's such a nice bloke on and off the track. I've said this many times before, and I'm not even remotely sorry about repeating myself, but he reported himself to the stewards for causing an accident, which just shows the type of bloke that he is. Incredible sportsmanship, but a very tough, a very hard racer, but a fair racer as well, which is exactly what we want One Hub to be all about. And he really does encompass exactly what One Hub is about. And of course, he is the owner of Vespertine, who does supply all our fantastic kit, all our t-shirts, all our merch, which is fantastic. And I know for a fact that Dad is currently wearing his One Hub t-shirt as we speak.
Yes, we got some more improved lap times coming in. Obviously, Callum improved, gone to a 4.1. Marco did 3 laps on his softs, and he's done a 4.2. It seems like it's going to be between those two at the front. J. Cole improving on his lap time, going to a 4.9, just ahead of Morky. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Let me know if I am wrong. Morky in P5 also on a 4.9. Salu, obviously, as you mentioned, on those mediums, a 4.7. What a lap time from him. JR Mason on a 4.9 as well. It is incredibly close, and that is all we can expect here from Austria. But also with the reverse grid, you do expect to see maybe a few more gaps in that, because it is a reverse track.
Hey, Mike, you confused me then.
Yeah, I confused myself, don't worry. But with it being a reverse track, you do expect a few more gaps to appear, because it's a very different circuit going backwards. But everything's staying very congested, very tight. No margin for error. The smallest improvements can probably gain you an extra place or two. As we're on board with Larkin now coming to the line. What's it going to be for the man in the Alpine? And he's going to go up to P9.
Brilliant. That's another driver who I'm delighted to see back racing. Obviously, he's a teammate of mine, both being part of ERT, so I'm going to be a bit biased towards our Larkin mate to see him back in racing. But he is a formidable opponent. It'll take him a while to get back into the swing of things, but he will be a prominent force once he gets a little bit more experience, a little bit more practice behind him. Same as J. Cole. Never rule him out under any circumstances whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. Gazman there with a 1.1 improvement, puts himself up into P11. We got Vitinho, who is on a invalid lap time, unfortunately for him. We got Matthias, who's just starting his lap, coming through turn 2 now as we climb up the hill. And now into the middle sector, where of course is going to be very tricky as we go through 3, 4, now in towards turn number 5 as he's invalidated, running too much speed through turn 4, and that is his lap over and done with. But he is on the mediums, call.
Yes, which is quite surprising. I think Matthias might be just trying to get a little bit of practice in. Maybe he hasn't done much laps around here, so he's thinking he's just going to try and get a little bit of practice in on the mediums, or he might be going for the tactic of saving all his softs for the main race. Normally, obviously, Mike, we would do lobby restarts in our main season, which is what we will be doing in the main season, which is going to be released very, very shortly. So everyone keep an eye out on the socials, because season 27 information will be released very shortly. But Matthias obviously might be saving a few of his softs for the main race. So, but Mike, look how close it is from 4th down to like 9th. There's just a couple of tenths in it. 3 drivers in the 4.9s.
Yes, we got Marco coming to the line now, and he's improving on his lap time, and he goes on provisional pole with a 4 flat. Marco there finding the time to get himself ahead of Callum, and it is race on now, Colin. It's race on between these two.
That it certainly is. I mean, look at that. I mean, there's not a lot in it. Just half a tenth. Between, as Riley improves quite dramatically and does a 7.5, but he is 14th, so that's a good improvement. But Callum's still in the pit lane at the minute. I think he's going to have at least one more run, probably just the one more run. Curie there up in 3rd place. Salo, look at that, still up there in P4.
Yeah, obviously making the jump onto the soft tyres, getting an improved lap time there. Curry crossing the line improves massively. 8/10 improvement for him, gets himself up into P3. And Curry's a driver that I feel that last season in OneHub had the pace to score points on a regular basis, but there was always something that just held him back in the races. Now, like he was definitely a driver that was in the mix, but there'd always be something that would go wrong. Same with Salu in P2.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't say patience as such, but almost try not to do everything too quickly. Look at it, take a step back a little bit. But, a lot of these drivers, some of these are very inexperienced. Some of these drivers, like myself, I've done over 200 league races. Some of these guys and gals have only done, 10, 20. So they're only going to get better. They're only going to get more aware. They're only going to have a little bit more brain power to think about strategy and things like that. But I could honestly say that I'm going to take a punt, and I'm going to say that Salo could be in the top tier, but we will have to wait and see, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. We will have to wait and see, as we was on board with Mikey there, going all out of shape through turn 2. Heartbreak for him on his flying lap. We got Vitinho, a 10.5 up in the first sector, coming through the right-hander, climbing up the hill through turn 6. DRS wide open now as we head towards the break-in for turn 8. Turn 8 throws it in, second gear, gets the rotation, now run down through turns 2 in towards, turn 9 in towards, honestly, I'm getting confused now. I'm confusing myself with the layout of the circuit. Through the final corner, turn number 10, the old turn number 1, to the line will come Vitinho. It's looking like it's going to be an improvement. What will it be for him? It's still going to be P12, but it is a 10.5 improvement.
Yeah, so he has improved. Has he got time for another? Probably not, I wouldn't have thought.
Gaza there just losing the back end, coming through turn number 7, and heartbreak there for him as he is all out of shape coming up the hill. We got JR Mason on a flying lap. We got Morky on a flying lap as well. Morky 2,000s up. Mason, he's 6,000s up on his time.
Ooh, another good qualifying session for Mason. Can he gain any more time now in Sector 2, which is where he is at the minute? Carrying very good speed there in his in his McLaren, which he'll be desperate trying to get in the next season, as a RB does well to get out of the way, as he's heading now into the very, very tricky final corner. He did seem to take a little bit too much curb on his previous lap. Let's see what he does in this corner now, Mike. Is he going to take a little bit of... Yeah, not so much as last time. I think he carried a little bit more speed. Can he improve? Let's have a look. Yes, he does improve, but he stays in 7th place. So he does go 300s quicker, but stays in 7th place.
Yep, that he does. Stays in 7th place, and now we got all the big hitters now out on track, getting ready to get themselves psyched up for one more flying lap. Going to go on board with Callum and Arm, because of course the battle between himself and Marco is going to be the one to keep an eye on. Marco is in the middle sector right now on his out lap, but let's see what Callum can do. Throws it into turn number 1, 5th gear, climbing up the hill, now through turn number 2, 6th gear, hugging that inside line and getting the nice rotation that he needs now through turns number 3 and 4 now. Holding it in 6th gear, getting the rotation as we go through turn number 5. It's an improvement in sector 1 as we approach turn number 6, and the uphill braking for turn number 7. 3rd gear, getting the car turned in nice on the exit there. Nice traction for Callum as we run down towards turn number 8. This is where the lap is going to be won or lost in this final sector. Lock up there for Callum as he gets the car turned in, but as he cost himself some time there. He's 2 tenths up, Cole. He's 2 tenths up as we come through turn number 9 in towards the final corner at turn number 10. Breaking down, throwing the car in, making sure he doesn't go too far wide as he scrubbed off too much time. We're going to find out as he comes through to cross the line. It's a 3.9 for Callum Unarmed.
What a lap that is. And Marco is up as well, but only by 0.5 tenth. That ain't going to be enough, Mike. He's going to have to find some time in this final sector, in these final couple of corners, as he also locks up into the last but one corner, but does keep it on the racing line. He made the apex. What's he going to be able to do in the last corner, Mike?
He's on course to just pip Callum Unarmed right now. All he's got to do is make sure he can carry enough speed for the final corner, and he should be able to get this. But has he done enough? Marco to the line now. Is it going to be pole position for the Mercedes? No, it's not. Oh, heartbreak for Marco there. In the middle sector, he was up by enough to pip Callum, but he just lost it in the final sector. Matthias now going to be the last man to cross the line. Is it going to be an improvement for the man in the Haas as he comes to the line? It's going to be an improvement in lap time, but not position.
Well, that is so close between the top two. Who have we got left running? I think that is it, Mike. I think that is going to be our grid. I don't think we got any more that's going to complete a lap time. I think we're just going to check about Ivan crossing. And that is our grid, Mike. That is our grid for the final round of the Reverse Championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Callum being the only man to get into the 1 minute freeze. Marco so close to the 1 minute freeze as well. Pushed him all the way, did Marco. I think Salu came through in a fantastic P3, which is fantastic for him. And what we're going to see, Cole, is a very interesting dynamic to start this race. Because at turn 1, it does promote a decent bit of overtake in turn 1. Obviously, it's a pretty wide corner on entry, but then it really does tighten up on the exit.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult for the drivers to keep their noses clean, isn't it? Because it's such a... it's going to be a very fast turn 1, but it obviously closes quite significantly, because obviously it's the other way. So most corners will open up on the exit to allow room for running wide, etc. But you're not going to get that here. But I'm very much looking forward to this, Mike. This is going to be an absolute blinder, I think, certainly between the top two. And Salo up in 3rd place as well. What a performance that is.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, before we go any further, massive shout out to our sponsors and partners here in One Hub Racing. Of course, Next Level Racing, Vespa Twin, And let's make sure if I remember which scene is the right one here. No, it's not that one. There it is. Pure Sim Gear. There we go. Pure Sim Gear. Rest between Neverlast Racing and, of course, we got our Sim Grid as well as the Mental Health Foundation. If you do need to talk to someone, make sure you do. It is very, very important to do so. Well, Cole, it's going to be a very interesting race as I have no game footage right now. Oh God, what is going on? And have we? Yep, there we go. There we go. We are sorted. We are back with the the game footage. Apologies there, guys. Tech issues be teching. But oh God.
Yeah, so sorry, Mike. So this is obviously now the start of their formation lap. I haven't actually done enough formation laps on this game, Mike, to see if there's any difference in how they warm the tyres up. But I did notice that drivers seem to be a bit more aggressive with their tyre warm-up than previous seasons. Callum there, you can see weaving left to right quite violently, having quite a fast outlap.
Yeah, and I feel that's the dynamic on this game. The tyres take a little bit to get temperature into them, so you really got to be making sure that you get the heat into the tyres nice and early on your lap, because it's just one of those ones where it's going to take a lap or two if you just drive around casually for the tyres to hit that optimum window.
Yeah, exactly that. And talking of tyres, Mike, look at the difference in strategy that we got. So the top six you can see there, they're starting on the medium tyre. Mm-hmm. Then we have Mokri in 7th, starting on the hard tyres. Mason's on the mediums. Larkin and Vitinho are deciding to go on the soft tyres. Mikey, Gaza and Matthias are going to start on the hard tyres. So they're going to have limited grip, certainly in the first few corners, first couple of laps until they get temperature into their tyres. And Mike, they're not really going to want an early safety car, are they?
No, they're going to want the safety car to, for those on the hards and the softs, they're probably going to want the safety car to come out around, I'm going to say, lap 7, so they can jump onto a set of mediums and go to the end of the race. Potentially. I do feel like the soft tyres on this game are not as good as what it used to be on previous game cycles. I don't know if you agree with that, Cole, but that's just my assumption early on. But we're going to go to those 5 red lights now, Cole. Do you want to take us underway for the race start?
And here we go. 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are racing. Who gets the best start? Callum has an absolute blinder of a start. And leads clearly into turn 1. How does he find the break in? Absolutely perfect as we all make it through turns 1 and 2 pretty cleanly. But Callum, with a monster start, keeps his lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic start there from Callum as we had Salu, J. Cole and Curry battling out going through turn number 1 as well. That battle for P3 in behind as you see Ivan all over the back of the Aston Martin. You got Larkin on those soft tyres making swift work of Morky as he's up in the P7. Good position gain there for Larkin as he tries to get himself up the order as quickly as possible on those Red Bull soft tyres.
Yeah, Larkin's going to want to make as much ground as he can. Make use of those soft tyres. Oh, Asalo runs wide. Giving J. Cole an opportunity. J. Cole now in the Williams, right on the gearbox of Salo. Don't forget, we haven't got DRS quite as yet. We got a yellow flag in Sector 2. I'm not sure who that is. I think it's Matthias. But J. Cole putting Salo under a great deal of pressure as the first lap is ended here with Callum in the lead by 0.4 to Marco.
Yeah, let's go to the middle sector. Unfortunately, there was a bit of contact between Matthias and Mason, and I believe Vitinho potentially might have got caught up in that as well. Riley almost certainly, I think, got caught up in it as well into the pits. Fresh set of hard tyres going on his car, and he will be getting himself underway. But yeah, a little bit shaky towards the back, but at the front, Cole, is looking very, very spicy. It looks like Callum has the pace on Marco right now, but Marco with DRS is really going to be putting the pressure on Callum now soon.
Yeah, he is. You can see that they're both being very conservative with the ERS. They're still in the 90%, but look how close Marco is to the back of Callum. He's got DRS this lap. Is he going to have a look? Thinks better of it. It's a really difficult corner to overtake because it is so fast, but he's got a great run on him. He's got DRS. He is in the inside as we head into lap 3, and Marco takes the lead of this race.
Yep, fantastic day from Marco, getting himself up into the race lead, and with that as well, puts the pressure back on Callum, because you got Salo directly behind him now, looking very quick as well. Only three tenths, nearly 4 tenths behind Callum. So Salo doing fantastic. You got J. Cole putting the pressure on Salo as well. And this is kind of a battle that I'm very interested in seeing. Salo versus J. Cole. J. Cole, a very experienced driver. Salo, a driver that has been constantly improving season by season here in One Hub. This is a tasty battle to keep an eye on.
It certainly is. You got to get up very, very early to catch J. Cole. Very experienced driver. Very clever driver. Knows when to overtake. Knows when to hold back. Salo's going to have to use all his wit and skill to keep a driver of J. Cole behind him for this entire race.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I mean, I've had the privilege of commentating over, like, not only J. Cole, but Larkin as well, since F1 2018. So that gives you an experience of how experienced these two drivers are in the sim racing world. Both of them very, very experienced. And yeah, Salo, as you mentioned, needs to have all of his wits around him, because J. Cole is definitely a very intelligent driver as well. So yeah, he will play these mind games. He'll be happy to sit behind you when he wants to, but he'll sell you a dummy, and he will send it when he needs to send it.
Oh, definitely. As Callum does a huge lockup. And he's now out of DRS from Marco ahead. And he's put himself under pressure. No, he did get DRS. He was lucky when he just got it, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 1. And that is Matthias, who is off the track, down in 14th for Matthias. But no damage, so he's going to continue on.
Yeah, and Cole, I mean, I'm not gonna lie as well. Like in that moment there, you see Marco tried to burn a lot of his ERS to get away from Callum there, and Callum, I think with DRS, was just able to hang within that 1 second. He had to burn a lot of ERS. Also, did Callum to stay within the 1 second of Marco. Salo as well, burning a bit of battery. J. Cole also, Curry holding on to the back of these guys as well. The top 5 are going clear, and I think the soft tyres have already fallen off a cliff, Cole, because look how far back Larkin is. Yeah,
they look like they are pretty much dead on Larkin's tyres. I'm expected to see him come in the pit lane. He is now under pressure.
Oh, Gaza and Vitinho.
Oh, Gaza's out.
And Vitinho's in the gravel as well. The two old guards, Gazaman and Vitinho, coming together, I believe, there, and both suffering a huge detriment to their race, as we see the pit stops happen as all the medium runners are into the pit. So a little bit earlier than I would have expected, but it seems like everyone's going to go into a set of hearts to the end.
I'm wondering, Mike, whether they were worried that there was going to be a safety car, and if they went past the pit lane, they'd be in deep trouble. There is no safety car as it happens.
Oh, virtual.
Sorry?
Virtual safety car, is it? Because there's yellow flags all over the place.
Virtual, is it?
Potentially.
Oh, yes, you're all right. Yeah, I've just seen it on the pit board. It hasn't come up on the screen. But yeah, Mike, you're dead right. There is a virtual safety car, so that's obviously the reason why they wanted to come into the pit lane. Mason and Mockery decided not to do that. I think that is a big mistake. I think that's an error of judgment. They're going to find themselves now a lot further back. Now, obviously, this is not as much an advantage as a full safety car, where you get a full free pit stop, but it is a very, very cheap one. And Mike, we are back racing again. We're in green flag conditions.
Yeah, and in the pit stop phase, J. Cole able to get the jump on Salo. So Salo got held up slightly in the pit lane. J. Cole has reappeared ahead of the Alpine, but Salo on a set of the soft compound tyres, there's no way he's getting those to the end of the race. Absolutely not. He's hoping for another safety car of sorts to get himself back into this. As Riley, 10-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. He's retired from the session. But, Cole, looking at this, I mean, Salo on the set of the soft compound tyres, we saw how quickly they fell off with Larkin. Is this the right strategy from the Alpine?
In all honesty, I think no. Looking at the state of Larkin's softs, I don't think they're going to make it to the end. But you never know. We might be able to stretch them out. But certainly near the end of the race, he's going to be desperately struggling. I'm surprised he was jumped by J-Col in the pit lane as well. I don't know whether he overshot his box, but he was what looked like to be jumped by J-Col in the pit lane. So J-Col is right behind Callum now and Marco. So that they're in the net lead is Marco with Callum in second and J-Col in third. Obviously, the top two have yet to pit. But I expect to see them in the pit lane very, very soon.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I was just going to point out that Marco managed to get a big gap on Callum in the VSC phase. And now he's coming up to traffic, and you've seen Callum close that gap in, but Marco making swift work of Mason as he climbs up the order into P2 on track, of course, net P1. And just look at the grip difference he has, Morky, as he comes through in towards turn number 3. Down the inside, it's going to be a job done for Marco, and now he can go off into the distance. And now it's on Callum to make swift work of Mason and Morky.
Yes, Callum, if he wants to be in the hunt for winning this race, he needs to dispatch Mason as quickly as he can. But the difficulty Callum's going to have is that Mason's going to also have DRS with Mokwe in front of him. So this is where it's going to be difficult. And look at this, look. See, this is where it's going to be very difficult for Callum. Yeah, that's good driving by Mason, actually, there. He managed to hold the inside line. Is this Mason coming in the pit lane? He's on the inside. Is he going to...
Yep.
Yes, he is. So Mason's decided he's had enough of these tyres and he's going to come in. So he's going to try and do the undercut on the kick Sauber.
Yeah, and there goes Callum through on Morky up into P2 now. 1.6 the gap between himself and Marco here. As Callum has a lot of work now to do to bring that gap down. We know Marco's pace is very good in terms of just overall pace. We know what he's capable of. He's done incredible in P1 last season, as did Callum. Both of them picking up race wins last season as well. Salu on those soft tyres, closing up to the back of J. Cole, but those soft tyres I think have probably got maybe a lap or two's worth of good grip in them before they start to fall away, and then Salu then will become pretty much easy pickings for the likes of Curry and Ivan in behind.
I would have thought so, Mike. I think you're right. But I think this is the... Yeah, as Salu outbreaks himself into the last but one corner. But I think this is the experience level and the minor errors that Salu hopefully will not make come season 27. Because you can see he is the only driver on those soft tyres. Obviously, at the moment, his tyres seem to be in a relatively decent state. He's right on the back of J. Cole. But, Mike, we still got 8 laps to go. He's going to be in a world of pain come the last couple of laps.
Yeah, absolutely. And Marco doing a fantastic job at the moment. He's got that gap built up a little bit more now. 2 seconds, the gap between himself and Callum. So, Marco looks to be in full control of this race. I don't think it's enough right now for Marco to take the championship away from Callum, because Callum got 2 race wins back-to-back in the first 2 rounds, and of course a P2 here would still seal the reverse championship for Callum, if I do my maths correctly. Yeah. But you know Callum's going to want to make it 3 for 3.
Oh yes, he's going to want that race victory. There's no doubt about that.
And he goes Curry. And Salo, bit deep there from Salo, and that's the inexperience there coming into play. Just a little bit too hot on the brakes, trying too hard to defend, and Curry just did a cheeky little up and under, nice little switchback. Thank you very much. There's my position. And Ivan was like, "Yep, I'll take me some of that as well."
Yeah, so Salo now, not only is he on those difficult tyres, he's got front wing end plate damage. It was quite a large hit with the wall. So he's really struggling out.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed with this game, Mike, is that end plate damage affects your front wing downforce far more than the likes of F124. We saw drivers, remember watching Jamie around China with front wing damage, and he was driving like it wasn't. But I don't think you're able to do that on this game so much. You can see how much Salo has lost. He's 4 seconds back, and he's probably going to have to box. I would suggest to Salo that he would probably box for another set of softs. Is he going to come in the pit lane, or is he going to drive on, Mike?
He's got to come into the pit lane. I mean, the softs are not going to get to the end regardless anyway. To be fair, just for the sake of... there's a big contact there as Ivan hits the back of Curry and then takes out the 50-meter brake marking board in the process of that incident, and that is going to irritate the drivers that are running no assist here, Cole.
Yeah, the no-line drivers are going to be going, thanks a bunch. Although, as a no-line user myself, anyone out there who is not using Racing Line, my advice to you is make sure that you do not have a brake marker board as your reference point for braking, for this precise reason, because you're going to have no idea where to brake if somebody happens to clatter into them. Salo, as he nearly loses it on the cold mediums, but manages to keep it in a straight line. He's in 11th place at the minute. Don't forget, he is going to get a couple of points for that. There's points down to 12th, so as long as these 12 drivers on track finish the race, they will get points.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, it's not over for Salo. There's still enough time for him to close that gap down to the likes of Vitinho. If there's battling that occurs between Morkai, Mason and Mikey, he could potentially get himself in a position where he, by the end of this race, could be in the mix for P7. So it's not over yet. He does have much quicker, fresher tyres on, so he'll have more pace. And just judge, and that's not going to help him. That's not going to help him. That's
a commentator's curse if I've ever heard one, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely.
So poor old Salo having a bit of a nightmare race. Not the only driver to have a penalty on this in this event so far. We also got Larkin, who has picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. And that, at the moment, not going to affect his race too much. The Mokwi behind is 7.8 seconds behind Larkin, so it's not going to affect him too much. But obviously, he's going to have to be a little bit more careful now regarding any more penalties. But look at the lead that Marco and Callum have got, Mike. 7 seconds in 14 laps is astonishing.
Absolutely incredible from Callum and Marco in this race. J. Cole, he was with him up until the pit stop phase. As soon as the gap formed, though, it's just no way for J. Cole to really combat the pace that these two have. DRS really was needed. And we're seeing Callum come up to a little bit of traffic, but he is going to get a little bit of DRS from it. And that is going to bring him ever so close now to the back of Marco. A good run and down towards turn 10. He could be within DRS range of the Mercedes, but they're both pretty much spent on their ERS right now.
Yes, and I was on board as well with Vitinho, and he's had a monumental hit with the barrier. He's lost pretty much the entirety of the right-hand side of his front wing. He is going to have to box this lap and put a nice new shiny green front wing on, and he'll be able to get some fresh tyres. Don't forget, there is a point for fastest lap, so he might be able to get that. Looking at his connection, and he's deliberately gone in the wall. Although he might just be completely misjudged it. But his connection isn't the best, to be fair. He's a bit bouncing around a little bit. But he's going to be coming in the pit lane. But don't forget, he can try and do a lap time to get a good fastest lap point. So if he can get a fastest lap point,
No, he's out.
that will... no, he did DNF in the pit lane. That is the end of Vitinho's race, unfortunately.
Okay, this is a big moment here. Can Callum get himself within DRS range? He's within DRS range now, Cole. We have a fight for the race win going on now.
Yes, and look at this. And both of them have pretty much used the entirety of the energy source. So down in the single digits, 8 and 6%. So they are both pushing as hard as they can. But like you said, Mike, Callum has managed to get himself into that crucial 1 second. So he is going to get DRS with just a couple of laps to go.
Yeah, and this could be set up brilliantly for Callum to take the race win on the final lap, but he has to stay within that DRS window. He cannot afford to drop out of it. Marco needs to be very smart about where he's deploying his ERS now to try and build that gap. J. Cole, 3 second time penalty. That could put him under a bit of pressure from Curry late into this race. 3.7 the gap there. And now, Cole, it's game on for the top two.
Yes, I suspect. Now, is Callum going to wait? Is he going to go, I'm going to wait till the final lap? Is he going to wait till the final corner even? Or is he going to just take his opportunity when he gets it? But he's in the DRS, which means he's going to be able to save a little bit of his ERS. And you can see that he's doing that. So he's got 30%. Marco's only got 9. So Callum's managed to save some of his ERS. Ready, I suspect, Mike, for a last lap challenge.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a last lap challenge, but here comes Ivan on Curry around the outside in towards turn number 1. Curry's going to stick his nose back down the inside. There's wheel to wheel, the pair of them, as Ivan goes a little bit off track and Curry holds on to that position. These two battling it out. That is not what either of them wanted, but it's exactly what J. Cole wants, because J. Cole now has a bit of sigh of relief as he has a 1.7, 1.8 gap now to play with his 3 second time penalty.
Yes, as Mason overtakes Mokwe into the last corner. A very nice clean move there from Mason. Unfortunately, the Alfa Romeo driver has picked up a 3 second penalty, so if he does repass Mason, he's going to have to find a lot of pace with only a lap and a bit to go if he wants to stay ahead of Mason. But Salo now, he's in the top 10. But here we go, Mike. Callum, they're entering the last lap now. Is Callum going to have a go, Mike?
Not into turn 1, he's not, but he has 30% more ERS to play with compared to Marco. Marco did save a bit of battery up on that last lap. Callum, though, he has the ERS to play with, and now I think it's going to be the run down into the final corner. If Callum is close enough to get that run, if I'm Marco, I'm potentially trying to let Callum through on this DRS straight on the run down in towards turn number 8 by here, because then you can try and get the DRS back on him down in towards the final straight. But I think Callum's going to be a little bit smart to that one as he's closing in. In fact, is he going to go for the move here? No, he's going to sit in behind. Now it's going to be all about the launch and the run down into the final corner. It looks like Marco's got a fantastic launch out of that corner, but DRS and ERS is going to come into effect now as we run down into the final corner for the final time. Here comes Callum to the inside line, and it's going to be Callum now through into the race, but look at this, cross the line. Is it going to be Marco? Is it going to be Callum? As they come through drag racing, it's Callum by 0.08 of a second. The two of them cross the line astern, drag race. Absolutely fantastic stuff from the pair of them, as we got Curry and Ivan there. They're almost in a drag race themselves. Larkin will come through to pick up P6. Fantastic from him. Mason will come through for a fantastic P7 in this race. And honestly, after the incident he had early on in this race, that's a good recovery there for Mason. Morky in there in P8. Mikey will come through in P9. Salo, he was very close to the back at the end in P10. But what a race that was between Callum and Marco, right? To the line. A drag race.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, if that's a taste of what season 27 will be like, I cannot wait at all. Absolutely brilliant. I got to be honest, I'm very surprised that Marco left the door open for Callum. I was expecting him to cover the inside. going into the final corner. But obviously, his plan was to do the switchback. He nearly managed it, but just not quite, just 800ths behind. But what a race that was. Brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic, and it is 3 wins from 3 races for Callum Unarmed, securing the championship win here in the Reverse Championship. What a fantastic performance he has had to start off the F125 game cycle here in One Hub Racing. And as we wait for the final classifications, I feel like I'm just going to end up in the black screen, unfortunately, for this one. Larkin leaves the session, unfortunately, but yeah, absolutely fantastic from Callum Unarmed in this race, and what a battle they put forward between Callum and, of course, Marco.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant, and obviously huge congratulations to Callum, who is the confirmed Reverse Championship winner. He will receive a prize, and I'm ashamed to say I can't remember what the prize is, but he will receive a prize. I will find out what that is. But what a finish to that race. Absolutely brilliant. And a little bit of a stream exclusive. In 35 minutes, 36 to be precise, Season 27 information will be released, so keep an eye on the socials. Keep an eye on our Twitch account. On our YouTube account. I think it'll be on. Just keep an eye out for everything, because Season 27 information and launch will be very, very soon. Just 36 minutes away, 6:30 UK time.
Yeah, and you think that is done for the evening. We're not done right there. Obviously, keep an eye out in around about half hour's time for information. But make sure you come back in an hour's time, because we got the GOAT Championship coming through at 7 p.m. UK time. And Cole, the GOAT Championship is going to be a very interesting one, is for sure.
Yes, it is. So I had the honour of picking the circuit this evening. So I decided to go for Imola, and the drivers will have to start on the harder compound tyres. So it's going to be quite a slippery, slidey first couple of laps on cold, hard tyres.
Well, it's going to be very interesting, that is for sure. And of course, we will be here in an hour's time for the GOAT Championship. Of course, I believe I'll be jumping in the commentary box for that. So, Cole, I mean, you picked the track and the harder tyres, so the pressure's on you, mate.
I know. Yeah, the pressure's all on me for this one. Unfortunately, I had internet issues last week, so my apologies to everyone for not being able to race last week. But we're all up and running this week, and we are ready to go. So tune into that in an hour's time.
Yeah, and before we wrap things up here tonight, again, a massive shout out to our sponsors and partners here at One Hub Racing. Of course, Next Level Racing, Pure Sim Gear, Vespa Twin, of course, obviously Sim Grid, as well as the Mental Health Foundation. Guys, we will be back in an hour's time for what will be the GOAT Championship. Until then, keep an eye out on the socials, half hour to get some information, and we will see you in the stream in an hour's time. Good night.
Good night, all.